Thanks,
You're welcome.
MFer.
Uh,
I got a text message right as you said that. Let's see.
oh, for crying out loud. Really? Why am I having to sign in there, too? Hi, everybody. It's Friday.
Hey, I've already crossed the line. Good morning.
You know, it's a new world. I wouldn't worry about it. Chicken too tasty.
Chicken. Chicken too tasty.
The email you entered doesn't have a what? The Nikes. Are we up? Are we up? Is it up?
Yep.
Is it up?
Yep.
Yay.
30 seconds.
Battle for freedom.
Radio as the founders intended. Mojo 50. The mothership has landed.
All right, time to bring on the hate. You know, last Friday when you weren't here, Ron, we played a different Friday song. So now we're back in the rut again.
Oh, really?
I think we've lost the romance.
A long clock, ding dong, pants up, boots on, coffee, cigarette, blue collar,
Redneck.
hard hat, lip, dragging through a swing shift, stacking up the boxes, watching that clock tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Need a little neon, get a little drink on
Friday can't come fast enough. Hey! Woo! It's good to be a beat off now that you're back, Ron.
I'm not a beat off. You're a beat
I'm
off.
a beat off. Somebody has to be.
along, Friday can't come fast enough.
Right? Oh my. It's All Fridays Eve, or whatever you call the Friday before Halloween, which is Sunday this year, which I think is a good time to remember to, if you have one, water your penis plant. You may not have one. It's at a Dutch garden. There is a penis plant. It has bloomed now for the first time. It is the size of a human. That's a.
But it only blooms at Halloween? What?
It's bloomed for the first time.
Oh,
The best part of it is
Ever.
it
Okay.
smells like rotting flesh.
well, that's just because they haven't cleaned themselves.
This thing is. Where did they come
Little
up with
infection
this?
somewhere.
Right. The plant stands taller than a human being. It reeks of decomposing flesh and looks vaguely phallic. It recently bloomed in the Netherlands' oldest botanical garden, to the delight of garden staff and visitors alike. Yeah, I think they have in the Netherlands where the penis museum is. Did you ever
Sure.
watch? Did you watch the documentary?
No. There's a documentary?
I told you about this. Remember, they were looking for they had every specimen from the planet except for human.
Human. I got you.
And then they had a couple of people who were, vying for that position, so to speak. And one guy from the United States was willing to cut his off and send it in while he was still alive. But before that, he actually had a tattoo on, and we got to see them do the tattoo on the, which I can think of no, let me try to think here. Is there any place I would not like to have it? That's the top, that'd be number one on the list.
I think so.
Yeah. I wouldn't want a tattoo there. But so anyway, I think they have a fixation over in the Netherlands. At least it doesn't smell like
Possible. Yeah.
rotting flesh. All right, so it's Friday, and officially it is the. I think we're going to go with the IDAF Fridays.
IDAF?
I don't give a freak.
Oh, that's IDGAF.
Is there a G in there?
Yes. I don't give.
Are you sure it's not don't give not a word? Just a single word?
Well, there was this. I had a patch on my motorcycle vest that said Dilligaff.
Do I look like I?
Yeah.
Funny.
What's with the vacuum cleaner?
That's the maid in the room. Actually, they're above us now since we're in the basement.
Yes.
You can hear everything. I don't know who is in whatever room is up there, but damn, apparently, I mean, the party last night.
Seriously.
Yeah, the party last night was it was something, and they're either vacuuming up the fluids or the dead bodies. Coming up, of course, this morning at some point, we'll have Cal and his podcast of the week. We'll also be talking. Let's see if I give it the fecal touch. Corey Gibson is running for Congress. Yeah. So in the 4th Congressional District. So we will be talking to him in just a bit as well. And since it's Friday, Merriam-Webster has added new words to the dictionary. And this year they've added 455 new words.
Okay.
Am I right? Am I right?
I don't know.
That's a new word. AMIRITE.
Oh, am I right?
Am I right? That's now officially in Merriam-Webster's dictionary. It's slang used in writing for am I right? To represent or imitate the use of this phrase as a tag question in informal speech. See, that's why when people freak out about how you spell stuff, words have been changing ever since there have been words. So if you want to spell your UR, I say do it. Why not? You can either fight the trend and be the get off my porch type, or you can just go with it and spell your UR.
Well, eventually, YOUR is just going to take the place of the others.
Yeah.
Because nobody understands how to use them.
Yeah, I was watching, was it Newsmax? And
tell me they didn't put a chyron up with the wrong
an
word.
apostrophe S on something that did not need an apostrophe.
I see. Yeah.
It was supposed to be plural, and instead they made it possessive. It's like, what? The apostrophe is the most misunderstood grammatical error, I think, in all of grammar. Digital nomad. Anybody?
No.
Somebody who performs their occupation entirely over the internet while traveling. If you, especially somebody without a permanent home address.
Oh, okay.
Teraflop.
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 Here, I'll just.
Thank you.
I'll get it. There you go.
Unit of measure for calculating speed of a computer equal to 1 trillion. The flop in teraflop stands for floating point operation. Tera means trillion. Fast computer speed makes for quicker computer response. Isn't that exciting?
I love teraflops.
Right? Don't I? I mean, there's... Let's see. Tighter.
Tighter?
Tighter, that's a good one.
Why is that word not there already?
It's either tighter or titter.
Oh.
TITER. A measure of the concentration of a substance, such as an antibody, in a blood sample that's obtained by subjecting the sample to serial dilutions.
Okay.
Obviously comes from the COVID generation that we are now. And speaking of names, where are we? Why did they change the name of Facebook?
I don't know, dude.
To
I'll
Meta.
try to figure that out. No, Meta.
Meta.
Yeah.
Well, you say Meta, I say Meta.
All right. So Facebook had become a conglomeration, basically, of Facebook, the app, WhatsApp,
right,
and Instagram.
Okay.
And so I think we'll still see Facebook, but it'll be the name of an app as opposed to, like, for instance, Google. The Google company, now you just have Google, the website, the search engine, but the company name is Alphabet. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the company name, I think, will be Meta now.
You know why they're doing this, I'll bet you?
Yep, because he's getting hammered like dog crap right now.
He's going to sell it.
Are you serious? What?
Why else would you change the name of the parent company? If the parent company right now is Facebook, you've got Facebook on the wall outside the building where you're located, and but you have Facebook and, like you said, the other apps. They're getting ready to. They're preparing. They may not be doing this in the next year, but they're preparing it for sale. That way, when they sell it, they're not selling their company name.
So Mark came out yesterday. Mark, this is my buddy Mark
Oh,
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he came out yesterday with this information about why they're changing the name. He said similar to Google's 2015 corporate restructure into a parent company called Alphabet, Facebook, the company, even changed the logo outside the building on the 28th of October to Meta.
Ta-da!
See? Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
The name was chosen to echo the key product that Zuckerberg hopes Facebook, now Meta, will be represented by, called the Metaverse. The name for a shared online 3D virtual space that a number of companies are interested in creating as a sort of future version of the internet. Dude, we're about to go living literally in the Matrix.
Are we? Was Skynet taken?
Of course it was.
Yeah,
we're gonna live. This will be. You remember that movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis?
Yes.
Where we're all laying at home on our couches or in our hospital beds.
I'm down with that.
Oh snap!
I'm down with, and the younger version of ourselves runs around out
there. Yep.
I'm with it. This was just tweeted by Disclose.tv. Just in, AT&T tells white staff they're racist, asks them to confess their white privilege, and to promote defund the police as part of re-education program by CEO John Stankey.
Oh crap! That was AT&T.
Yep. Welcome to Friday. That and the Biden administration, this might be a good time to run across the border and come back in as an illegal, because now they're thinking about a plan to give immigrant families separated during the Trump administration $450,000 per person in compensation. This is not the Inquirer. This is from the Wall Street Journal. How much bigger clown world could we live in? This is why we don't do headlines anymore. Because this would be a headline. The government's mulling a plan to pay almost $500,000 per person to everyone separated at the border by the president, former president. The payments part of an interagency solution to several lawsuits filed on behalf of separated parents and children claiming lasting psychological trauma. Wow. Could amount to nearly $1 million per family, though the final numbers could shift, according to the report. According to the same sources, most of the families crossing into the U.S. from Mexico included one parent and one child. Depending on circumstances, many families could get smaller payouts. The ACLU, which represents families in one of the lawsuits, has identified about 5,500 children separated at the border over the course of the Trump administration, citing figures provided to it by the government.
Gee.
This is like, what a circle jerk. I mean, this is seriously. So the ACLU represents the families. They've identified 5,500 children separated at the border during Trump's administration, and the figures they were given were by the current government. Wow, the number of families eligible under the potential settlement is expected to be smaller. The people said as government officials aren't sure how many will come forward. You know, for $500,000, I would expect a lot, even if they, hey, we might get deported, but we might get deported and we'll have $500,000 in our pocket. In total, the potential payout could reach $1 billion. What?
You know how many people in this country can't freaking pay even attention?
It's like a car wreck. It's all happening in slow motion right in front of us. Right in front of us. Squatching Duck says, I almost forgot about headlines back when the show used to be fun. The world's on fire.
There he is. Good morning, Duck.
And speaking of, the Doc Kitty there's a new game that we play. Well, when I say we, I mean he thinks it's fun. And it's called Bring a Rat into the studio and Let It Go. He does this. This morning he did that at, I don't know, it was...
It sounds to me like you guys have a rat problem. Because
Yeah,
this
but
cat seems to find them everywhere. And rabbits.
And brings them in.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, he's sitting here now. Because I've made it a game with him, because when he brings one in, we hunt it together. Mainly, I just want to get it the hell out. And he's thinking, oh, this is great. I got somebody to hunt with. And we chased that thing around the studio here, and it was... Let's see. No, that was the one last night. Sorry. I'm getting them confused.
Do those things ever end up in the bed with you?
I don't even know what to say about that. No.
Because I'm out. I'd have to take a cat out, dude, because my dog brings in a dead grass snake, a little bitty tiny thing, and my wife panics.
You know how I knew that there was a rat, was it 2 days ago, 3 days ago? I heard the screams. Not of the rat. And not of the cat. But, B.E. not, I just scream, oh, you found the rat. And the funny thing is they're cute. Rats are actually cute. They are. I mean, if you can get past...
They're cute until they start gnawing on something.
Well, there's that. Sorry, there was a... So anyway, the Doc Kitty and I are going to have a talk later because I'm not sure I like this game that we've started. And he's all happy. He's just so proud. He brings it in. He's like, and spits out. And it's like,
Yeah, Beaver says at least it wasn't a penis snake. We talked about those on the show last night.
I'll bet you did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, speaking of
trouser snakes,
I got a voicemail.
Yeah, what
from Rocky?
Oh,
I did, and I've got a follow up here. Let's see if he.
Damn it! I've been waiting for 24 hours for you to return my call. All I want is my underwear back, and I don't want them washed.
I'm not getting it. Not
because you touched them and you cuddled with them because you love me. But I have concerns because you're not calling me back, Mr. Brad Staggs. We're going to a haunted house together. How are we supposed to have a relationship if you're not even going to call me back? We're breaking up. And I'm going to start seeing Ron Phillips, and I'm going to tickle his... Thank you.
I'm going to tickle his what?
He's going to tickle my what?
I'm going to tickle his... Maybe you have suggestions for what Rocky is going to tickle on Ron. You can let us know using the hashtag what I learned today. Because we're no fun.
If people know Rocky well enough, they know exactly what he said.
Yeah, what was it Squatching Duck was just saying? Back when the show was fun? Well, take your fun and shove it up your... Where's the little... yeah, exactly. Let's see. Yeah, Beaver says, don't be a baby. At least Doc Kitty didn't drop a live one on your chest while you're sleeping at 2 a.m. Almost sounds like she has experience. Of course, I guess it would depend on what dropping a live one is. Here you go. Illegal $450,000 per illegal separated at the border. Time to lock and load, boys. 6% C say Podway.
C say Podway.
Do you notice that more and more people in public are making comments like, when does the shooting start? When do the guns come out?
Yep.
I've been seeing that all over the news recently, and it's kind of weirding me out a little bit.
Pissed off peasant.
But people are freaking done.
Yeah. We're the most patient, well-armed society probably in the history of the world. But at some point, it's going to get ugly. And when it does turn ugly, I can't think of a better fashion statement than to wear your very own hashtag FJB shirt from Mojo50.com.
I see you have yours on today,
I
Bradley.
do. I was going to wear my I'm gay, but $20 is $20 shirt, but I didn't know if our guest coming up next hour would be offended. You'll see.
Oh, please.
Well, no, he's openly gay.
He is.
And not that I was trying to. I just... Honestly, the reason I didn't wear that and I wore this was because we're not selling the other ones. We are selling these, and the capitalist in me took over. The man inside me, the capitalist man, took over. So go to Mojo50.com. You'll find the shop button at the top, and You know, I'm just noticing that the Mojo 50 website isn't nearly as pretty as the Romika Designs website.
It is pretty, isn't it?
It's not as pretty. It's not as pretty. It's just.
No, I'm talking about the Romika.
Yeah,
Designs
Romika.
website. It's
Yes,
pretty.
you're right. Romika Designs is just beautiful. It's just all moving stuff and eye-catching things. And, I don't know. It's almost like the ugly red-headed
Are we
stepchild
doing
over
that
here.
commercial now, or are you not doing that?
Oh, I'm
commercial?
sorry. Are we on the air? So yeah, you click on shop. You'll find apparel, and then you'll find the T-shirts, and maybe I ought to put the. We need to do a Let's Go Brandon shirt as well, and I'm working on that. I just haven't gotten to it. I need a round to it. Which reminds me, do we have the round to it's for our winners that we haven't sent yet?
Oh, we can. Yeah, we've got them.
Well, we.
I'm supposed to be getting these to you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I have stuff to bring you.
So
anyways.
if you won the name the robot contest with the APR coffee,
we haven't forgot you.
we haven't forgotten you.
We kind of forgot you, but
We're
haven't.
just slow as hell. So I mean, that's our motto. We'll get to it sooner or later. And so we'll get the other shirt up there. Maybe we'll put this shirt on, maybe just to make it easy for people to buy the FJB shirt. That'll be up on the front, like the front of the website.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just do that, and it helps us. It makes us happy, and it helps keep the lights on, because without that, we're not going to make any money, and we could just disappear. Let's see here. Oh, well, the College Fix. Over at the College Fix, it is between the College Fix and campus reform. I'm not sure if I have hope for the future. I mean, the people who run these websites, they give me hope, kind of like Sarah Anderson over at R Street and Cesar over at Freedom Works. The headline here at the College Fix: student gives free masks to minorities only, charges white students $10. This is at Michigan State. The project is aimed to reverse the privilege. Student at Michigan State University set up a table in her quad Tuesday, handed out free masks and gloves to students of color, charged white students $10 an item. After her display prompted some anger, you think? This reminds me of the old, would it be an axiom, an idiom, a saying? Two rights don't make a wrong, nor do two wrongs make a right. Just because, and yes, it was racism is a nasty thing. Of course, no one knows what the hell the definition of racism anymore is, because we've twisted it into 18 different definitions. But true racism is believing that one race is
superior to
another. So a lot of what gets called racism today isn't. But this student, and maybe she was trying to make, a social experiment, but
I'm going to say this out loud, and people aren't going to like it, especially if they live in these metropolitan areas. But literally 99% of this country is not racist.
Right.
You can go to your local church, but you live in a metropolitan area like New York, San Francisco, LA, Dallas, Austin. These places are bitching about racism because, quite honestly, that's where they live. And it's the dumbest thing in the world that's all we hear on the news. Yet in the town where I live, I don't see racism.
No.
And most people of color don't see racism. And I say people of color, white is a damn color. Nobody sees racism here because it doesn't exist.
Technically, white is the absence of color.
Whatever, dude. You know what I'm saying.
Unless, of course, you're talking with computer monitors, and then white is the sum of all colors, which is ironic. But you're right.
Man, you shouldn't have said that. But.
What is on a computer, you have to kick up all RGBs to their max to get white. But it's not even reverse racism. This is just straight out. It's a racist act. Her display prompted anger. The student explained on Twitter that the point of the project is to demonstrate how minorities and disabled persons have been negatively impacted by the pandemic versus other groups.
And describe how that is.
Which I'm sure she could pull up figures about the number of people of color who have been stricken or died, or maybe she can't. But you can always. It's like the stat with the cops, which I'm still trying to figure out, that more cops have been killed by COVID than bullets. And that's a headline grabber. But I still can't figure out how they twisted that, because I don't believe anything I read anymore. I can't figure out how they twisted that to make it a legit stat, and it doesn't make sense to me. She said, I wanted to reverse the privilege and show how it feels to be discriminated against based off skin or disability. Really? You needed to do this to figure that out? The student has since set her Twitter account to private, but there is a screenshot that College Fix retained. So the point of this project, demonstrate how minorities, disabled persons have been negatively impacted. I wanted to reverse the privilege, show how it feels to be discriminated. I just... See, we all... well, 2008. 2008 is when... No, 2008. That's when everything started going south with race relations. It really sucks. Cannot we all just get along? Man, I'm getting really tired of this crap. More on the way. Happy stuff. Happy.
Happily promoting the 4Fs.
I want to be an illegal immigrant separated at the border. Could I identify as one?
That's right. I need to pay my bills off.
God almighty. Wow.
Hey, I sent out the first 8. I've got a lot more to send, but I only had 8 ready of the Mojo ornaments.
Yes.
If you get them, send us pics.
But we already know what they look like.
I do, but no, I mean, like if they, I mean, as it gets closer.
Oh,
to
you mean hung on their tree?
Hung on their tree. Yeah.
I got you. I thought you just, send us a picture of the ornament so we could see what it looks like. Morning report. Let's see, where is the? I don't think I sound like that.
Corey's at 9 or 8:30, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen up, you maggots. This is real food, real people, for real men. This isn't some namby-pamby.
That's it.
No, it's real food, real people.
Real People can be heard every day on SpoonyRadio.com at 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. Eastern, and anytime on Spreaker.com.
Are you sending me a message?
No.
Oh, okay. I figured you were about to send me a message on that one.
Sorry. Send me a message about what you thought I was sending you a message.
No. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was busy doing work over here.
Good morning.
The Daily Mojo.
Let's see. Stinky Biscuit. I don't believe you. That's good. I wouldn't believe me either. I wouldn't believe a damn thing I say, quite frankly. James in Louisiana, I blame CERN. When they fired up the partial collider to find the God particle, things went south. It really is. Things were, they seem to be at least on the right track. And then the great unifier, the Barack Obama, came along, and I swear it's maybe just a coincidence, but certainly from his actions and statements, he certainly stirred up the racial pot, in my humble opinion. Wisconsin Jackhole, sitting here enjoying a cup of coffee with 2 of my favorite people. And he also has us on. See what you did there? See, that's, I was going to...
Bullshit.
Wait a second. Hold on. That was the wrong one. That's one. Same thing. This just now popped up on my feed, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. This is a weird one. This is the Rust situation with Alec Baldwin. who
Yeah.
has been spotted, by the way, in Vermont. And so the armorer on the set of Rust yesterday said in a statement she had, quote, no idea where the live rounds came from, end quote. That's kind of...
Didn't they confiscate like 500 rounds?
Yeah, which was a mix of, they said, blanks,
and live
dummies, and live rounds. So things that rounds of, prop bullet, which would be a dummy.
That was just a problem waiting to happen, is what that sounds like to me. I mean, look, when people are saying the live round should have never been on the set at all.
Right.
And I don't disagree. Why were there live rounds ever? And I understand they were out popping cans or whatever the hell it was they were doing, but why were they even on the set?
Why were they doing this with a gun that was being used in the production?
That's where the investigation's probably going to focus. Is did somebody plant these there? Right?
Plant them?
Yeah. Did somebody add a box of live rounds on purpose?
For what reason? To try to make...
To injure or kill or whatever.
I guess it's possible. But the bottom line still remains that Alec Baldwin held a gun, fired the gun at a human being, and killed her. He picked up a gun or was handed a gun and fired it without checking it. And that's a no-no. In a statement shared on Twitter by an MSNBC anchor signed by two attorneys for the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed said she wanted to address some untruths that have been told to the media, which have falsely portrayed her and slandered her. They're throwing, as I said yesterday, they're throwing Dave Halls under the bus, the AD on this thing. Yeah. She's been a close second. The armorer claimed that the set would have never been compromised if live ammo had not been introduced on the set, and claimed she had no clue where the live rounds had come from. Hannah and the prop master gained control over the guns and never witnessed anyone shoot live rounds with the guns, nor would she permit that. They were locked up every night and at lunch, and there's no way a single one of them was unaccounted for or being shot at by crew members.
Or shot with.
Well, she says, or being shot at by crew members. The armorer claims she has never had an accidental discharge. She also claimed that because she was hired for two positions on the film, it made her ability to focus on the job of armorer difficult. She fought for training days to maintain weapons and proper time to prepare for gunfire, but ultimately was overruled by production and her department. I can believe that. I need more time. We don't have time. We got to get this shot. And their whole crew walked out on the morning of that of last Thursday, and they had to.
Why did they walk out?
They were pissed off about the I guess overtime or working conditions and where they were being hoteled. So they walked off. They had to hire a second crew, which is why they were only working with one camera, and so they're obviously running behind schedule, which is not unusual. The whole production set became unsafe due to various factors, including lack of safety meetings. So they're just... the problem is Baldwin has more money than any of them. And we all know the justice system isn't about justice. It's about who tells the better story and who has the money to make the wheels turn for them. And they keep calling it a prop gun, but it is not a prop gun. It was a gun being used as a prop. And there is a big difference. The and as for Baldwin's whereabouts, he's in Vermont. He shaved his beard. So this movie will probably never see the light of day.
I started to say if the movie has been put on hold, and if he shaves his beard, then there's likely it's not going back to that.
It's not. I mean, because this will. Although The Crow eventually came out after Brandon Lee had been.
It did, yeah.
Killed, and so I guess there's a chance it could be completed, but I'm not sure Alec Baldwin's ego would let that happen. So he was up in Vermont at some store. His wife dropped him off, and he was up there shopping. And then, of course, Alec Baldwin has posted or retweeted every story that points a finger at somebody else. The smartest thing he could have done, I think.
Shut the hell up.
Yep. But he's out there retweeting stories about the AD being at fault, about everybody else being at fault but him. And the bottom line is he held the gun, he pulled the trigger. Not only did he cocked the gun. You had to cock the gun to fire it. So, speaking of nice guys, Andrew Cuomo is going to be arrested next week. Isn't that exciting?
I saw that story come out yesterday.
Yes. He's going to be arrested next week following a criminal complaint filed by one of his alleged rape victims. The name of the victim and the details were not revealed by the Albany County clerk who first released or leaked the news of the charges yesterday. According to the New York Post, he should be expecting charges in the next few days, will likely be arrested and charged next week. Will he get the big perp walk? Yeah. And again, this is another example of, obviously a little bit different in circumstances, but what a difference a year makes. Remember, a year ago, all of our frontline health workers were heroes. You know, not all heroes wear capes. They were on billboards.
I remember.
Yeah, and now it's like they're the ones who are unvaccinated, the lowest form of human life.
I watched a video yesterday of a respiratory therapist being escorted out of his hospital.
The dude?
Yep.
Yes.
And he was pissed.
He pointed out the guy in the back, Jeff Davis, right? The guy's, I think, was his boss's name. He's like, there's the man who fired me. And yeah, that's right. Hang your head. And they were trying to get him to delete the video, weren't they? Did you hear that? As he was walking out there, you could hear the security guys go, hey, you got to delete that. You got to give that. The guy said, no, I'm not going to delete it. What are you going to do? Fire me? It's like, so yeah, a year ago, heroes, now they're, the scum of the earth. And Andrew Cuomo a year ago was being praised for his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic or plandemic.
It was at UCLA. Here, I'll send it to you. But this guy, he was pissed.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're hearing more and more about this kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it's scary.
Yeah, it is.
It's scary the way that they're doing it, the way it's being portrayed. I mean, these people shouldn't.
This is the most bizarre time, I think, it's certainly in the history of this country anyway. I mean, it's.
I sent you that video.
They haven't started shooting at the unvaccinated yet, but that doesn't mean they're not going to.
Correct.
I mean, I wouldn't rule that out at this point. It's just here's the, what's his name? It is respiratory therapist. It does not give his name.
Yeah, language warning just in case. I don't remember
think
that
there
it has
is
anything there.
I listened to Bongino's podcast yesterday. He played part of this, which, by the way, if you have a chance to listen to the first hour, it's only an hour.
Yeah, listen to the podcast.
Listen to Bongino's podcast from yesterday because, wow. Anyway.
Shameful. Freaking ridiculous. Because I don't get a freaking experimental vaccine jabbed in me, they're going to freaking fire me.
Come on, you gotta go out. Then you're recording in the
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's called a public place.
No, get out.
No.
Do you want to get arrested?
Yeah,
he starts getting pushed by security.
No. Excuse me. What are you doing?
Put that out.
No.
Wow.
Why are you assaulting me?
You need to leave.
Why are you assaulting me? I didn't assault you. I did not assault you. Why are you assaulting me, sir?
Didn't we learn yesterday that that's battery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you pushing me? Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
The subject is recorded. He's using you too.
Amendment right, sir, to record. Excuse me, give me my badge, give me my personal property back. Excuse me, what the heck is this? Is what happens when you stand up for medical freedom. Why did you assault me, sir? I was peaceful this entire time. Why did you assault me?
You're affecting patient care.
Why did you assault me?
You're affecting patient care.
You do not have the right to assault me, sir. You do not have the right to assault me, sir. I'm not blocking patient care.
Yes, you are.
Everybody can get fined just fine.
Disrupted to the patients that have a right to a peaceful.
You have absolutely no right to assault me. I've never once touched. No, sir.
All right. You need to leave.
I'm in a public place. This is a public property. It's a public easement, sir.
Okay.
I'm on public property. Right now, this is a public easement, and I'm on public property. Look, I'm on a public easement. This is public property. If you touch me, surely there will be a lawsuit. Actually, there are.
Don't call me Shirley.
Already will be a lawsuit. You assaulted me over there.
You're blocking patient care.
I am not blocking anything.
You should be a medical professional.
I am not blocking anything.
Wow.
I was being a medical professional,
Wow.
douchebag.
You should be a medical professional and just leave. Because he won't take a drug that we still don't know everything about. This is just, and if you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. I don't care. This is just unbelievable how not only disruptive, but this is divisive, disruptive. It is, how can this even, well, it verges on illegality, unconstitutional, but again, does that seem to, it doesn't seem to bother anybody. That's the problem. And, people bring up the Nuremberg,
Code.
The Nuremberg
Code, yeah.
Code. And I guess you could apply that. I mean, the way I've read it, certainly seems like you could. But
Jack Hole Training NCO says, still feeling sorry for those people, Brad. How come none are doing interviews coming clean on all the bullshit they have pushed for a year?
I'm not sure I understand. But who's doing the interviews?
All the people that are getting fired, why aren't they coming clean on, having pushed getting the vaccine? I don't know that they have.
I don't know this guy.
I wouldn't think these people are. Here's the thing. If you work for a corporation that has now decided that they're going to fire people who don't get the vaccine, you really don't have a leg to stand on. You don't. And it blows, but you don't. It's just you could have worked. There are people who work for these corporations for years.
Say what you just said again. It's because
if you work for a corporation that has decided that they're going to push the vaccine or have a vaccine mandate as a part of that corporation,
right,
then you're screwed. If you don't want to get the vaccine.
Yes,
look, the military has done this for years. It has been that way. And you know what? We're hearing about it in the military now still. But they're saying that 98% of the military members already have been vaccinated, and those that won't will be separated from the military. That's what they call a military when they separate you from it. That's they'll be separated from the military, and most of them will be separated either via court-martial, right?
Right.
For failure to obey an order or regulation. Seriously, that's what the Uniform Code of Military Justice has in it. And I'm telling you, everybody who goes into the military gets vaccines. I watched them do it for 4 years. I was down there at basic training as an instructor. I marched my people over there. They got in lines for the shots. They got the shots. They didn't bitch about it. They just got them and they went on.
So you think it's fair what the military is?
No, I don't think it.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair. Here's the thing.
All right.
I don't think it's fair because there's not enough. In my opinion, there's not enough knowledge about this particular vaccine,
right,
for them to be pushing it as hard as they're pushing.
Yes, that's the way I feel.
The polio vaccine, the flu shots every year, things like that. Look, we had to go through what we're going through now to get past all of it and get to where we're going. But as much as they're pushing this and as hard as they're pushing it against everybody who's going, wait a minute.
Yeah,
why are
let's
you
take a
pushing
breath.
This emergency use authorization vaccine? If I don't want it, why do I have to have it? According to what I'm reading nowadays, people who are vaccinated are still transmitting this disease everywhere.
Yeah.
Or
Now,
this
the
virus. Yeah.
Their slogan now is, well, if you get the vaccine, you're less likely to die and you're more likely to have milder symptoms. Except for like Colin Powell. He died. He was fully vaccinated. There were a lot of people.
And there are people fully vaccinated that are dying.
So
it just doesn't seem that what they said the vaccine will do for you is what's happening.
Yeah, and I think
maybe the numbers in the long term pan out, but I don't know.
I think we lost track of the fact that again, we're being told this by people who have, over the course of the past 5 years, lied to us. almost 24 hours a day. I mean,
Right.
the government and the people within these agencies, the lies that they told about Trump for 4.5, 5 years, they prove themselves to be untrustworthy. Therefore, when they start pushing a vaccine or pushing anything for that matter, if it's cookies, you're going, wait a minute, you've not been like a stand-up citizen here for the last 5 years. Why suddenly should I decide that you're the person I need to listen to? That's where I think that's what's being lost in all this. We've come so far down the road, and it's like, well, wait a minute, why are we fighting this again? Oh yeah, because I don't trust them. And why is there such a rush to get this done? Again, if you walked around in a mall right now and you didn't know that there was a pandemic, or what they term a pandemic, would you know that there's a pandemic? Unless people had the masks on.
Right.
And again, they've manipulated the numbers on people who have died. They've manipulated the numbers on people who have been sick. They have convinced enough people out there who are terrified now of, I still know people who won't go to work. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and their wife's boss, or one of the, I guess a tier above her, has not been out of her house for 18 months because she's so scared of it. 18 months she's not left the house. So they've done an effective job at scaring the shit out of everybody, or a great majority of the population.
Well, yes, there is a certain percentage of the population that they do scare the shit out of. I mean, I watch. I'm into that Reddit called Public Freakouts.
Mm-hmm.
There was a girl freaked out in the freaking elevator because a delivery person stepped in the elevator with her and they weren't 6 feet from her.
Right.
Oh, she screamed. She was just. It was just like, this girl has lost her mind. She needs to go to the damn mental health hospital. But the fact of the matter is that they've also gotten to a point where people have stopped listening to them as well. Like if you walk around the state of Texas right now,
right,
there are people wearing masks, but the great majority of them, they're tired of the bullshit. They don't care.
Right.
Look, if it's going to kill me, it's going to kill me. If you
That's
want to wear a
where I am.
mask, wear a damn mask.
I'm at the point
I'm not going
where
to bitch at you for wearing a mask. Wear it.
I'm not wishing death upon myself, because I don't necessarily look forward to it, although I hear it's quieter. But at this point, it's like, you know what? Just because these yutzes in government tell me I've got to do something, I think I'd rather die of the. Go ahead and record it. I'd rather die of this stupid thing than do what you tell me to do. Call me stubborn, call me stupid, but that's where I'm at now. Maybe I have a problem with authority. It's probably daddy issues.
No,
more
but-
likely mommy issues. Maybe both.
I see brilliant arguments on both sides of the fence. I do. Because there are people who say, you can't mandate me to do jack shit, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, do you wear your seatbelt in your car? Do you pay your taxes? Do you do this? And yeah, we've been mandated to do stuff.
Right.
But not forced, not pushed.
I would disagree with you on the seatbelt thing. When that happened, because that was like the early 80s. When
80s, yeah, I do
There
remember.
was pushback. There was a lot of push. Now, we didn't have the coordinated.
Is it what we're going through now?
Well, I don't know, because we didn't have. I mean, I can look over
didn't
here
have
and tell
social
you,
media. You're
James
right.
in Louisiana right now just
Yeah.
said someone who doesn't have COVID is affecting patient care by exposing them to a disease he doesn't have because he hasn't been jabbed. So I can tell what people are thinking right here in real time.
True.
And back then you couldn't, and it was the prisoner's dilemma. That
All
you
we
couldn't
had was the
coordinate.
news.
Right.
Yeah, all we had was the media.
So it may have been this big a pushback for seatbelts. I'll bet you a bazillion dollars that had the communication system that we have now been around when the income tax was rammed down, because it was supposed to be temporary to fund what? The Civil War? War of 18? One of the wars. I can't remember. And then it just became, hey, it's kind of like toll roads. Once they start charging you a toll to go down a road, which is supposed to pay for the road until
Yep.
and then as soon as they get that income flowing in, they ain't never cutting that
Never
spigot
fixing
off.
that road. That's right.
So if there had been our ability to communicate back during the implementation of the income tax, things could have been different. They don't like us to be able to, and that's evidenced by the fact that people like us are being censored on social media. They don't like our ability to be able to communicate with each other. They've been trying to shut it down ever since we've been trying to communicate with each other. It all makes sense if you look at it in that sense. And no, it didn't make sense. It all makes sense if you look at it in that sense. Does that make sense? No, but it's the... I think there would have been a huge pushback on all of these issues, and everyone forgets about the polio situation. The first few years of that were a giant fustercluck, and kids got polio because they screwed up the vaccines. And I told you it was not the same company, but the company that screwed up the vaccine back then also made the anthrax vaccine, which is what's happened with the COVID vaccine. Yeah. The BioEssence or whatever the hell it is in Maryland, the company that makes COVID vaccine, their full-time gig is mass producing anthrax vaccine. So I don't know, maybe there's a correlation. But this is ridiculous. This is all this is tyranny. That's all it is at this point. They are just trying to get to break the will of the people. And
in my opinion, Brad, it is a grouping of different things that are all culminating in the way that people feel about being pushed to get the vaccine. It's social media. It is the way social media is hammering down on people that they don't like what they're saying. It is the pushback that we're seeing via social media now. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, it all comes down to the communication aspect of social media that's different than everything else that we've ever experienced in the past. And you know what? Over a period of a decade, we've gotten there, because now when they start stifling your speech, then you begin to push back. Yeah. And all these people pushing back, it just so happens that this virus jumped right in the big middle of everybody being pushed and pushed back.
Right.
And now people are trying to, wander through what they see in the news and what they see on Facebook, because, Facebook just used to be posting pictures of your family.
Right.
Now all of a sudden it's become political.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're seeing all of this and you don't know which direction to go. But there are a lot of people out there who don't like to be told what to do.
Yes, that's kind of the whole idea behind America.
We will follow laws,
right?
But this isn't a law.
No,
we will follow proven concepts, but this isn't a proven concept.
No,
it's not that what they want us to do is blindly follow what they are saying in the freaking administration and at the White House, and that's just not going to happen in this country.
Right? They keep saying follow the science. And
there's not enough science.
Right. Okay. Well, let's give science a little time to evolve here, and give us a few years and we'll gladly do it. Well, we may all be dead by then. Well, then that's the Great Reset, isn't it? That's what the liberals have been waiting for as long as there have been, to get rid of the infestation of the planet by carbon-based units.
Look, Leprechaun says it correctly. He said it better than I could. Seatbelts, taxes aren't just mandated, they're law-backed. He said the jab mandate is just being told to do it by the likes of Fauci, not legislation, and it's because they can't law back it yet.
Right.
They're doing everything they can to get it to where they can law back it, and the second they law back it, maybe that's when the stuff happens.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They've got to,
you've got enough people up in Congress going, are you freaking kidding me right now?
Yeah, while their approval rating tanks.
Their approval ratings tank, but do you know the people in Congress are getting ivermectin? Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, you're right. You mean Miveractin?
Miveractin.
Has nothing to do with ivermectin. Well, it was Jack Hole Training NCO says, I understand these people's choice in not doing the vax. I just want them to come clean on bad COVID rules they upheld for a year. Now I understand what you're saying. In other words, the people in the hospitals who were, not letting you in to see people, without, taking your temperature, and you can't see him. Believe me, I get it. I don't think this guy was one of them. He's one of the rank and file. He's one of the soldiers on the ground in the hospital.
Yeah. And
it's like the nurses that I met last year when Beth Enoch was in there, and they'd come into the room and pull their mask down. It's like they didn't believe any of the crap either. It's the administration and the bean counters.
Yeah.
So I think this guy is just one of the foot soldiers, and he's pissed off because he probably never believed in any of this crap to begin with.
The politics of working for a corporation now that falls in line with, quote, the science and the administration and everything like that, because they're being pushed to do it. I mean, the minute that Biden said something about OSHA and
working around
that and pushing OSHA to make these mandates, dude, you've got corporations out there who could give a shit about people wearing a mask or getting a vaccine, who are now okay, so it's either make them do this or be fined out my ass and lose my company.
Yep, that's what.
Look, they're
that's what
trying to
doing.
balance that shit too. It's just ridiculous.
They are doing a fabulous job. The Biden-Harris administration, and all of their flunkies that are in the government with them, they're doing a fabulous job of destroying this country from within. That's the amazing part. It's the fact that this country founded on liberty and the power coming from the people up through and to the government, and they've been able to flip that on its head, and the power is flowing from the top down, just like it was in jolly old England.
Here's the thing. If you watch videos from Australia, from Japan, from all these other places that don't have the Constitution like we have, that allows us to do the things that we do over here, people have it way worse. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that people are standing up in this country is because we have a Constitution that says the United States government needs to be monitored by the people.
And we haven't.
And we haven't been monitoring.
Nope.
We haven't been.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
totally
just
guilty of that.
Crazy.
I'm paying my penance now because I hate this shit. I do not enjoy having to pay attention to politics at all. But now we have to, or we're going to lose everything. That's the bottom line. Let's see. What are we going to do next?
Something fun. Can we do something fun?
Yeah, it's because it's I Don't Give a Friday. On your Daily Mojo.
Clear.
These sons of bitches.
Sorry, I got on the rant.
No. This
That
is
stuff kind of fires me up, but damn it.
We have to get fired up because otherwise we're going to get mowed down. I'm just tired of these. I'm tired of these people who are defending the government's overreach. It just really is. I'm done with them. I'm tired of people trying to make me feel guilty for everything. You're guilty if you're silent. You're guilty if you speak up. You're guilty if you're white. You're guilty if you're male. It's just F them all.
Look, I don't begrudge the corporations that are being forced to push this. I don't.
I don't think corporations like it's nice knowing you, nice being on your stations, but I don't think corporations like Cumulus feel like they're being forced. I think that they're doing it. I don't know whether the executives in charge think that it is the right thing to do. Maybe they do. Maybe they think it's the right thing to do, but can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very, very sad that he is.
Ladies in Washington in the push for a social spending package as President Biden visits Europe. Mr. Biden is
for a $1.75 trillion social spending bill.
The agenda that's in these bills is what 81.
What? Oh.
Down 19 points. NASDAQ futures off 122. S&P futures down 19 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them. And I know all the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org. m25m.org.
Thinking of like the new Ralph Lauren loin girder.
The loin girder. Girder? I barely knew her.
Defenders Live.
Uh,
9 p.m. Eastern, Mojo 50.
all right, so White Soccer says, as someone who works in Hollywood, you might have live ammo on the set in order to create a sequence of someone loading a gun because blanks don't look like real bullets. But you can make a dummy that looks like a real bullet with no powder in it.
Correct.
You could just have a slug on the end of a, or you could put sand in it if you need to simulate the weight. I'm sure those exist. Dummy rounds.
Liberty Minute for Friday, day 593 of 15 days to flatten the curve. A bill is headed to the governor's desk in Illinois that would allow minors.
But I'll tell you what. You know what? I can't believe I haven't.
Notifying the parents, let alone getting permission.
I have a story. God, I'm old enough to have a story about just about everything. Son of a. Remember back in the day when you didn't have a story about everything?
Yep.
And now you're like, no, I've seen that stupid before. Hey, y'all, watch this.
One of the lowest Wuhan flu rates in the nation. Huh, imagine that. Without continuous lockdowns and mask mandates. Biden is considering paying illegal immigrant families separated at the border by the Trump administration $450,000. By contrast, it's only
Really?
until tomorrow. Protect
Wow.
Once they're gone, there's no getting them back.
If we weren't so bad,
To puppy rape. I like to cuss. Do I want to keep my penis? Cat wants some black titty.
we wouldn't be so good. Mojo 50. The mothership has landed.
Beaver says if you haven't left your house for 18 months because you're afraid of the cold, you have serious mental health issues. And honestly, I don't think you're too far off from the truth because a lot of people are closet, I was going to say homophobes, but that's not the word. What's it when you are afraid you're going to catch every disease? It is a...
I don't know what.
What
Say it
if you're afraid of catching every disease, you're what? Not a hemophiliac, not homophobic.
Hypochondriac.
Hypochondriac.
Yeah.
So there are enough people out there that are, closet hypochondriacs that, this thing did totally set them off. And White Soccer says, as someone who works in Hollywood, you might have live ammo on the set in order to create a sequence of someone loading a gun because blanks don't look like real bullets, but they should have kept them separated or use a fake gun for the loading sequence. Except if they don't exist, they should. Bullets that look real with a lead slug in the end of the casing and sand in the casing.
James in Louisiana says they don't use live ammo for that. They pull the primer and remove the powder, then reset the bullet in the cartridge if the production company has a legitimate and competent armorer on set, that is.
That's kind of what I just described.
Yeah.
But you should be able to, I would think that if there's not a company that makes those, they should. And I've been told that back in the day of the old Westerns, that they used to they use live rounds, but they would shoot them off, not at the camera. Who knows? But it doesn't surprise me. It's something like, I can't believe I forgot this story when the ghost hunting group, Wraith Chasers in Tennessee, when we were doing the pilot for them, one of the things I had to do, I was working on the props in the ghost box. I've told you about that.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they blow up they did, in full disclosure,
box.
they did not want to, the Wraith Chasers did not want to do it this way. They did not want to blow up the box after catching the spirit or whatever the hell was in there, because that doesn't make sense. You're just releasing the spirit. So, but the production company wanted it done that way because it looked cool. And when they told me, well, we're going to have to, it was the assistant director, tells me, or the production manager, one of the two. Anyway, he says, we're going to blow up the box. I said, well, you can't blow up the box that I just made because it's got plexiglass mirrors. Well, no, we have to blow. He just no, we're going to blow. I'm like, no, we're not going to blow.
Yeah.
You're going to put people in danger because we put real explosive material in this box, and it was going to send wood and plexiglass flying, which could injure somebody. And he was insistent. I said no, and I left to go, which he was not happy about, but I left to go construct another box that was easily, it was breakaway, quarter-inch real light plywood, and Mylar, cut up pieces of Mylar inside, so that when we blew it up, the Mylar would come floating down, would glint off the sun and
look like
the plexi, which wouldn't hurt anybody. And so I can understand. I can see why there's somebody on some set somewhere. We go, no, I got to have a live bullet. It's not going to look real, but we shouldn't have a live. Oh, I got to have a live bullet. Because I've worked with stupid people.
And here's the thing: the politics of the set, the politics of of being on a TV show or movie set, would put people in danger. It's the same thing we've been talking about for the last hour, Brad. The politics of the U.S. government of this country are putting people in danger.
Yes.
And some people are worried about it, and other peoples don't give a damn.
Other peoples?
Other peoples.
In other lands.
Yes.
Oh, and I worked on a set where the guy insisted we use a real crossbow and shoot it through a door.
What?
Yeah, with no medic on the set. And I was actually operating camera on one of those. And I said, okay, you want to get... And I set the camera down and walked away from it and said, I'm not going to stand over there. Because that would be stupid, because you're shooting a real freaking arrow, you idiot. Actually, technically, it would be a bolt, but who is counting? There are a lot of stupid people in Hollywood. I don't know if you knew that or not, but there are. Hey, guess what Sunday is?
Halloween. All Hallows Eve.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's not what you meant? What?
The top 20 worst Halloween treats.
What
was the worst thing you could
toothpaste?
Get? God, that's a stupid one. Don't ever give it a little, and it's a little mini travel size, right?
Every dentist in America is like, oh shit.
God. Boxes
actually, they could be going, well, this is a good thing for my business.
Right. Raisins. Did you get boxes of raisins?
I hate those.
I did too. Popcorn balls.
I've gotten popcorn balls for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween.
We used to give them out for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Okay.
Black and white peanut butter kisses. Those are a thing. Toothbrushes.
Yeah, there you go.
Small boxes of cereal. It depends on what kind of cereal. If it's Cheerios, yeah. Ugh. But like Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Oh, yeah.
I'd take that. Apples. Nobody wants to get a damned apple in their trick-or-treat bag. They're heavy.
And then the story about razor blades in the apples came out, so people wouldn't give out apples anymore, I'm
which
sure.
Never really happened. Pennies.
Oh, good Lord.
It's a great way to get rid of a bunch of pennies. Circus peanuts. I hate those things.
Oh, man, I got really sick from eating too many of those once, and now the smell just makes me...
That's like me in Copenhagen. Snuff.
Yeah.
It was in high school. I put some in, and I guess I swallowed some, and I was sick as a dog sitting in front of the ticket stand for the football game, throwing up my internal organs next to me.
Misty just loves circus peanuts, dude. Ugh.
Nuts and pretzels. No. Tiny bags of chips. Again, depends on the kind of chips. If you're talking like Sun Chips, all right. Leftovers from the bingo bake sale. And the rest are like stale candy, sugar-free candy. Yeah, sugar-free that's the first thing. Hard candy in general.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here, Mom, Dad, you want some of this? Fig Newtons. My view on that has changed over the years. Maybe I would take, I don't
know. A small pack of Fig Newtons wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, but as a kid, did you like them?
No.
No.
No. As a kid, I'd look down in the bag and go, you got anything else?
Right. Pencils and erasers. Yeah, no. Of course, now they'd look at them and go, what the hell's that? And everybody has had one of these dumped in their bag at one point or another, and you look at it and you put it on, you throw it away.
My daughter got a live frog put in her bag.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I
And
know
it wasn't, of course, until we dumped it out in the living room floor.
I have an
And
idea.
the whole family panicked.
I have an idea what I can do with the rats now.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, he's just sitting back there, just all laid out. Those plastic spider rings.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, and you always got them, and it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Too close to a wedding ring for me.
Jeez.
I cracked myself up. Plastic and paper marble games. Oh, I know what they're talking about. Those little ones that, the plastic ones where you hold it and you try to get the marble into the thing you do.
Oh, the little BB.
Yeah, that thing. And Mr. Goodbar. I like Mr. Goodbar.
What?
Yeah, whoever wrote this is
what's wrong with Mr.
obviously retarded. All right, so the history.
We don't use that word anymore, Brad.
Invented? Sorry. Made. Created. They were retarded. The people who created that were retarded. So, bobbing for apples. Where the hell did this come from? And
Bobbing for apples?
Does anybody do it anymore?
No, that was when you had to go to the hoedown and
The hoedown in Houston
and bob for apples.
I dated her too.
People are bobbing these days, but it ain't for apples.
Right. When you think about it, right in the era of COVID, would you be sticking your face in a bunch of water?
You know how many people's faces have been in that water? You go to like a little carnival somewhere, and they've got bobbing for apples. How many people have slobbered in this water?
Nope, not doing that. And if you've never heard of bobbing for apples, because likely there's at least one person, it's where you take a tub of water, not a
big
bathtub.
old wash tub.
Yeah, wash tub, fill it up with water, and then dump some apples in it, and they float. And with your hands behind your back, you have to stick your face into said tub of apples bobbing in the water. And,
bite into an apple.
And pull it out with your teeth. And again, not using any hands, which it sounds easy, but it's not. All I can think about is somebody blowing a big snot bubble in.
You're right, though. You're right. But check it out. Check it out. Bobbing for apples kept our immunity up, Brad. You know it did.
It did. It was like rubbing dirt in it.
Yep.
So it started in Europe. It was a way for young lovers to court one another.
Bobbing for apples?
Yeah. See, everything leads. The history of anything leads either to money or sex.
Are you sure it wasn't just a test to see if you wanted to have that person as a lover?
Maybe. There were many versions of the game. Each apple represented a special someone. If the bobber, typically female.
Uh-huh. Here, I'll get it.
Thank you. Successfully, does that mean we're homophobic now? Successfully bit into the apple with the name of a love interest in one go. Then fortune favored the lucky couple and fate gave them the go-ahead. If it took the bobber 2 attempts, they could still try it, but their love wouldn't last that long. And if the bobber needed 3 attempts to bite the apple, wow, that just sounds... Yeah. The stars weren't aligned. They were not going to get along at all.
Stinky Biscuit, who is this Bob and what is he doing with those apples?
Thank you.
Well, would you rather his name be Richard? Dickin' for apples? I don't think so.
Right? And remember, Bob is the guy with no arms and no legs in the pool.
In the pool, yeah.
On the front doorstep.
That's Matt.
On the wall?
That's Art. Come on, I know you got it.
There's another one in there, isn't there? What's the other one? There's a Art, Matt, Wall, Bob. See who else we can offend. Let's see.
We're an all offender.
Yeah, I don't
show.
We're two old fat white guys. We don't give a crap who gets their feelings hurt. And this is from Women's Health magazine. The 12 best Halloween sex positions for getting freaky in costume. It's in Women's Health. And the subhead here is, who needs candy when you have someone's genitals to lick? This is in Women's Health magazine.
What?
Uh-huh. This is, Right?
Who needs candy when you have genitals to lick?
Someone's genitals to lick. I'd never even considered this.
What kind of Halloween parties are you going to?
I don't know, but damn.
Can you invite a few people? Thanks.
The Ghost Rider. You know what the
No.
It's a reverse cowgirl.
Are you saying rider or writer?
It's a rider.
Rider.
The Ghost
Rider.
Rider.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what it is about Halloween parties? That's what it is. Because you're in costume, you get hammered, and you meet the sexy witch, who's got the big honking nose with a point and a big wart, with the hair growing out of it on her nose.
Yep.
And you thought, this is a great costume, and then you're like, you get them alone. You're like, you'd be hot, except take off the fake nose. I hate that. No, that's my real nose. Ooh. Eek. The Scarecrow.
Yep.
The Scarecrow. No, that's the position, not the costume.
Oh, I got you.
I'm trying to see how to describe. Oh, the Bad Cop.
These are all positions.
Mm-hmm. I'd describe them, but
cop.
quite frankly, I think it's more fun for you just to think about it.
To try to figure out what the bad cop would be.
The bad cop. It would be. Let's see.
Wisconsin Jacko says his wife is getting a subscription to Women's Health this year. Nice.
When you think of Women's Health magazine, this is not what I think of. It's like Cosmo. Remember the Hearst, what's her name? Not Patty Hearst. The other one. Cosmo Hurts Kids.
Yeah.
Because of the smut that's in Cosmo, which is fine. You want whatever you want to put in there. It's. I just never thought of Women's Health as whatever. So there's the bad cop. If let's say you were standing and you looked down, you went, oh, there's a $20 bill, and you bent over to pick up the $20 bill without bending your knees. So you bent over to pick up the $20 bill, and your friend comes up behind you. Is like, oh, look what you've got. And they're standing up right behind you, and they say, oh, look, you've got a $20 bill down there. That's bad cop. The trick or treat looks like a real pain in the ass.
Let me go publicly and apologize to Maxon Gumball on Twitter. Maxon says, okay, then I'm putting my headphones on and going back to my homeschool lessons. Sorry,
wise.
Megan.
That's wise. Well, he needs to do his homework.
It's probably a good plan. Do your homework,
Right.
boy.
Let's see here. The pumpkin spice latte. I think the missionaries used to drink that. The Cujo. Yeah, it is what you thought. The Lazy Witch. It's spooning with a twist. The Top Gun. Again, looks like far too much work.
They don't have like images with these, do
Well, they've got little drawings. Little drawings, and it's like when you watch a TV show and they like clear off the dining room. It's like they just go in there, boom, everything is on the floor. Have you ever done that? Is that a yes or a no?
No.
Of course not. Who's gonna go? Because you know what? If you did, the whoever lived there, if one of the two of you is that's your home. You're what the hell? You just broke my shit. Get out. I can't think of anybody who would be, oh, that's so hot, just clearing off the kitchen counter, all the glass on the floor.
Sorry, I have a couple more for you. Guy with no arms or legs in your mailbox.
What?
Bill.
Oh.
Woman with no arms or legs on a tennis court.
What?
Annette. Thank you, Pick a Pool. We appreciate those. There are others we can offend. Just throw them out.
Here's see, the Top Gun looks like way too much work. The Screamer.
Ooh.
Yeah, cowgirl. The Hocus Focus. What the hell? How do you even do it? If you're dressed as Titanic's Rose, a pinup girl, flapper, or some other draw me like one of your French girls worthy costumes, flaunt all that in this position. How in the hell are they? Huh. I'll be darned. This is
part of the problem with doing a radio show, Brad, is we leave everything to everyone's imagination.
No,
when we
that's the
talk.
beauty of a radio show. This is called the imagination exercise, and because look, we could show you well, what fun is that? It's like sitting there being lazy in front of your television and that's why they called it the boob tube. But with radio,
true,
you put like V is for vampire.
Theater of the mind. You're welcome.
It's Halloween. V is for vampire is the 11th position, and let's see. This I can't tell that one. This is it's V is for vampire. You figure it out. Lazy Witch. Oh, it's like sitting on your lap, but backwards. And again, this would be good for want to go all night? No, not really. No.
That sounds too tiring. I don't. You know I'm 55,
You
right?
have something that sounds a little less exhausting. I don't know, something for, let's say you got 15 minutes to kill.
You got anything that sounds a little less exhausting? Nice.
I mean, I've got, the dishes still need to be done. I got to vacuum, and I still have to study. So look, 10. You got something for 10 minutes? I don't know. You ever miss the good old days, Ron?
Sometimes.
It's just, I was talking with our director of global security yesterday at his compound, which when he's done, he will have the world's biggest shop, I'm convinced. And this thing is huge, built out of those storage containers.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just been a dream for a great deal of his life. And, you know, it's spending a significant chunk of change on the thing. And he says, this is what I dream of. If I'm running, he says, I'm not dreaming about seeing Christy Brinkley naked. I'm not dreaming about Jennifer Aniston naked. I'm dreaming about how the shop's going to come together. He says it's sad when you get to that point in life. It's like, wow, I wonder how I can, you know what? If I put that welding table over in that corner, it's going to be easier to drive 4 vehicles in here. It's less exhausting. I have to give it that. I mean, it's, these are the good old days. Someday we're going to look back on these, and these will be the good old days. And if you need some softness in your whatever position, the Lazy Witch, the V is for Vampire, the Hocus Focus, or the Top Gun, may I recommend MyPillow.com. The Giza Dream Sheets are 100% washable.
Man,
So
you are the Segway queen.
It doesn't matter if you get fake blood on them from your Halloween costume. It doesn't matter what you get on them. You can just toss those bad boys right in the washing machine, and they come out good as new, as do the towels, which is equally important. And if you go to MyPillow.com, you use the promo code Mojo50, you will get a significant discount off of each. The regular price of the 6-piece MyPillow towel set is $110. But with the promo code Mojo50, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, just $39.99.
Not a bad price.
Not a bad price. And they are, not only are they soft, but they're absorbent, because some towels you buy them, and I've done this, like Bed Bath & Beyond, you feel, they do something to towels when they're brand new. They feel like super silky and soft.
Yeah. Until that washes out.
Until it washes out, and they're like, ugh. But it's not the same with these towels. And they're absorbent, which is generally good for a towel. So it's all at MyPillow.com, and the promo code again is Mojo50. Save some cash, and at the same time have some softness in your life. DMXDM says, back in the day, if a house handed out fruit or toothbrushes, their joint got egged or papered. Right?
Yep.
Am I right?
Yeah, you have to know that though.
Am I right?
You have to see them put it in there. Absolutely,
You have to. Did you say you have to see him put it in it? What?
You have to. Yeah.
What?
You have to see them put that in your bag. You have to know that that's the house
What?
it came from.
You have to see him put what in your. You know. Again,
Seriously.
Whatever. I was good with getting the pennies when I was a kid. A couple of pennies could buy you a piece of gum at the corner store. What are you, 112? I don't remember 2-cent gum. Do you?
Well, no.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Richmond Joe, our 112-year-old listener. If you had a good haul of pennies, you could even buy an RC Cola with it. And a moon pie.
Who was it that came up with the idea, or somebody told me a story the other day about this older kid that was trick-or-treating?
Uh-huh.
Showed up at your door after everybody else has been gone for 30 minutes, no other kids. You get a knock on your door. Kid shows up, he's wearing all red. He said, they said, what are you dressed as? He said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm your period. I'm always late. I just handed him my entire box of candy. I just handed him all the candy. You won Halloween here.
Oh my God, that is so offensive. Ugh. Wow.
Nice.
Wade Robertson, I accidentally gave a few kids ranch from Pizza Hut. Pizza man came during trick-or-treating. I dropped the ranch in the candy bucket. Next few rounds of kids got ranch packs. Wish I could have seen their face later that night. Well, that's true. If you just dump it in there, we kind of cover it with your hand.
Yeah.
They
never know it. That's right.
That is cool. Oh, that's as good as a frog. All right. We'll see if we may have a guest next. Yeah, we may not.
Gibson. Yep.
We'll see. Coming up next on your Daily Mojo.
Yeah, Cal, we finally found out he was busy this morning. So.
That's okay. I just didn't mention it. Woman who's good at driving, wondering if she might be transgender.
Yeah. Have you seen that? That's actually pretty funny.
Throw it
that
again.
meme. Yeah. All right. I have got Mr. Gibson on the line.
Hey, Corey. How you doing?
Well, good morning. I'm doing very, very well. How are you today?
Excellent, thank you. We got about another minute, and then we'll be live right back into it, and we will have a little discussion.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Just hang on with us. You bet. Let's see. I remember penny candy. I'm not on Social Security yet.
I don't remember penny candy. If you give out,
Beaver says there was a store near our school that had penny candy. I loved that place. Interesting.
We had a place. It was called the drugstore. No, not. I mean, it was literally called the drugstore.
The drugstore, yeah.
And it was an old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And they had a soda fountain. You go in for like a nickel, and it was even back in the 70s. It was like, wow, that's cheap. Robin, if you give out bags of chips, you have to give out salsa and the beer to go with it, of course. And I still, we still need to talk, Robin. I've been running like a chicken with my head cut off.
Dr. Free Range Prisoner says, I call BS. I know damn good and well Brad and Ron remember 1-cent bazooka bubble gum and reading the little comics. That was the worst gum on the planet.
It really
bazooka
was.
Bubble gum, because it was so damn hard to chew. It was just difficult.
Break your teeth.
Yep. And it
Yeah.
sucked, but the little comic strip was funny.
Was it?
Here we go.
Was it? Who was it just said that we remembered the 1-cent bazooka bubble gum?
Dr. Free Range Prisoner.
And Ron, you're right. It was the worst bubble gum because it broke your teeth. And,
You chewed on it for about 3 minutes and then out.
Yeah, it was like nasty. And then the comics, you said they were funny. Were they?
The comic strips?
Were they funny?
Oh, come on, dude. When you were a kid. Yeah.
Maybe. And then you have remember Freshen Up? The gum.
Ooh, that was some nasty.
Remember what they used to call it?
Wasn't that denture gum or something?
Something like that.
Ugh.
Let's see here. The just got this in off the wire. A woman who's good at driving wonders she might be a transgender. Kristen Fribsey, local mom recovering shiplap addict, reportedly began wondering if she might be transgender after she drove around town to run errands without incident.
Yep. God. Come on.
I'm telling you, you got to learn to laugh at yourself. You have to.
Yeah, as long as Corey Gibson knows that we love him to death, and this is
course.
the kind of show we do here.
Yeah, and welcome to the program, Corey Gibson, and Corey is running for Congress up in Washington State against the Republican incumbent who voted to impeach Trump. First of all, welcome to the show, Corey. How are you?
Good morning from the West Coast. I'd say it's bright and early, but it's just early still.
It's just still early.
Yeah, it is early out there. First of all, you're the best and worst Halloween candy you've ever been given.
You know, I was listening. I'm not sure if that was off air or not, but I was listening to you guys talking about penny candy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a kid, we had that too at the drugstore in town, and that's where you would get the worst and best. But I think everybody, the off-brand bags of candy that you can get like at the grocery store that has like off-brand like taffy and stuff in it. That was always my least favorite.
Nasty. And the people who put oranges or apples in, and you're like, jeez, they're heavy. Just nasty.
They always seem very out of touch.
That was the local dentist. That's what they did.
Yes.
That and toothpaste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, tell us a little bit about why you decided to try to go to Washington. I mean, anybody in their right mind, it seems, would want to stay away from the swamp, but there's a reason you want to go, I'm assuming.
Of course, yeah, there is. I think that a lot of people like myself and a lot of people in my district, they're looking at what's happening in our country, and they're looking at it as right now is a time in our country's history where each and every single one of us need to do everything that we can to fight back against the growing, overreaching government. And there were two moments that really sort of like triggered my desire to actually run. One was when Nancy Pelosi tore up the State of the Union. That was sort of a moment where you're like, what's happening in our country, and who are these people controlling, this branch of our federal government? And then, just after the election, a lot of people were very scared. The election laws had been changed at the last minute. Things really seemed off and confusing, and there seemed to be a hard push to not investigate, to make sure no one looked into what had happened in the election.
Right.
And so people were very scared. And then you live in a place like where I live in Washington State, and then you have your congressman vote to impeach the Trump, sort of the president at the last minute.
Right.
And it really just all added up to the fact that we have to change what's happening in D.C., like dramatically. And the people that we have in there right now, by and large, they need to get out. And we need to get some people in there that are actually just going to work hard and get some stuff done, because we didn't get there overnight.
Right.
And a weak Republican is worse than a strong Democrat, in my opinion.
Have you often, for a long time, have you been into politics, or have you just been paying attention recently? Because I know for most of my life, I hate politics. I hate having to pay attention to this stuff. But this is how we got here: is people like me not paying attention to what the people in Washington were doing, and now I'm paying my dues. Have you always been political, or is this just something of the past few years, or what?
No, my entire life I've been, I wouldn't say I've been political, but I've been interested and followed politics and current affairs. But it's just become recent to where there's a sort of a sense of, I guess what I've always loved, I've loved our republic. I love American history. I love what this country stands for and what we've accomplished. And, but I've never been involved, say, with a particular, I've been registered a Republican, but right. I've never participated in party events or really done anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason was, I felt like there was competent people in office at the time. That was of course another big mistake.
Right.
And that's why I say a weak Republican is so dangerous.
Right.
We didn't get here overnight.
Right. How old a guy are you?
I'm 43.
43. All right, so you've been around. I've got a few years on you, but yeah, I'm the same way. I grew up and I actually went to Boys State when I was in high school and realized, wow, did you? All right, so did you participate?
Oh, I did. Have you seen the documentary on Boys State?
No, I haven't. I just know I hated it. I mean, I don't even know why they picked me to go. I'm not even sure why I was chosen to go, but I just remember thinking, man, there's a bunch of politicians, and woo, boy, do I not like this. What does the documentary say about it?
Well, what's funny about the documentary is it just follows a group of kids in Boys State, and I think it's a Apple TV original. But it's funny because it will take you back. So it's just takes you back instantly to like all those kids that you were with, and like gives you this like it's horrifying a little bit, you know. It's like it's like when you have a nightmare about when you were a kid and you're like, I don't know, you're not going to graduate or you have a big test coming up or something like that.
Right.
It's like reliving those moments.
I got the award for least participation. That's how bad it was for me. I just really, truly hated it. All right, a couple of fun facts about Corey, who is again you're running for Congress in the 4th district in Washington State. Was the most Trump supporting district in Washington. You're dyslexic. You are also a gay conservative. And that's
all winning factors, right?
Ta-da. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
absolutely winning factors.
Absolutely. And I mean, because it's, and I hate dividing people into subgroups because it really, can't we all just get along? But it's a big deal because you risk, it's kind of like a black conservative. You risk having everybody throw rocks at you. And I mean, you're putting yourself right there with a bullseye on you. Does this affect the way you carry out your campaign? Is it a relevant thing for people to consider?
Well, no, I don't think it's relevant, honestly. I think the only people who are going to throw anything at me will be Democrats because, by and large, my experience growing up here in, agriculture industry, and I currently do a lot of work in the beef industry and agriculture industry, that narrative is a false narrative. I think it will have absolutely zero impact. Zero. Mm-hmm. I think that my entire experience, my entire life, from Republicans, from conservatives, has always been the same, and it's been the exact opposite of what I've seen from the Democratic Party. They just spin things around to try and create a narrative that somebody who's gay, for instance, can't possibly be conservative, and they can't possibly stand with the Republican Party. And the truth is, that's not how it is at all. And this is the most welcoming, inclusive group of people. Look, we're the ones that fought racism, and we're the ones that ended slavery and desegregation and all that sort of stuff. And we continue to be the ones that are the most welcoming party. And I've had a lot of conversations with some black leaders over the past few weeks too. And the truth is, we're changing that narrative. We're changing that narrative. It's like that being gay falls right under being like right-handed for me and how I describe myself.
Well, Corey,
and I think,
Corey, this is Ron, and I just wanted to say, look, I'm looking at your contract to the people of Washington State on your website, and it's like a laundry list of crap that goes on in D.C. You're just going to be the opposite of, and that's fantastic with me. And I'll tell you right now, people like Brad and I, we would stand between you and the rocks flying at you. Because of what you
stop pandering to him because he's gay.
I
it, Ron.
Pander to him. I can pander to him, dude.
No.
But that list, that contract list, that's fantastic, dude.
Well, thank you.
It is a strange time, A, in America, but B, when you look at the history of the Democrat and the Republican Party, it is true that the Republicans have been more inclusive, have done the right thing in more ways. And then you see what was it? Was it a documentary? Was it just somebody that I was arguing with on Twitter, trying to discuss the way they said essentially the Democrat Party of old is now the Republican Party, trying to say the new Democrats are the old Republicans who tried to do away with slavery and all that. It's like, you can't twist history, but they were attempting to do it. And it astounds me how many just plain lies are told out there, and it's hard to cut through with the truth anymore.
Well, it is. I mean, they're masters. They're masters at psychological manipulation. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's a big part of what we have to change in our country right now is that patriotic Americans, which I think also can be described as conservative Americans,
right,
we've got to stop playing defense. You know, we're always defending ourselves against the things that Democrats have created, but they're accusing us of. I mean, the gymnastics they make us go through to have a conversation is insane.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree 100%. They are what they preach to us.
Let me ask you this: because I'm not a political historian, I'm not a political scholar, and I will admit there are a lot of things I don't know. When I look at modern politics, though, I see the progressive side of the Democrats, and I guess the other side of conservative or Republicans would be the Matt Gaetzes, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, the Lauren Boeberts of Congress. Right. And I don't even know if there's a term for them. But new Republicans, whatever it is, do you fall in line with that way of thinking? Do you relate to them at all?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I do.
Okay, good.
I absolutely 100%. Because those are the ones. The reason they stand out right now is because they're the ones that are fighting the fight that the American people are hoping somebody's going to fight in D.C.
Yes.
I think that under the last administration, what happened was you began to see how hard we should expect our leaders to work for us, and also just how much we should pay attention to what is happening in Congress, because that's, again, why a weak Republican is so much worse than a strong Democrat is because they have allowed for the American people to have hope that we had representation, that we had people that were really fighting for us. And the truth is, all they were doing was slowing the kicking of the can down the road. And now, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if I was on the show right now, I was talking about, like, I'm running on healthcare, I'm running on lower taxes. Right. Like, those days are over, at least for a while, because now we're running to save the country.
Yeah.
Now it's about preventing socialism.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's and we're talking with Corey Gibson again. He's the Republican. He's running for the 4th congressional district in Washington State against the incumbent who voted to impeach Trump. Who is the incumbent? I don't know offhand.
Well, you wouldn't. Dan Newhouse.
as a marketing guy, that's smart. Not yeah. But you're right. We've become, and it happens in every in political races in the last few years anyway. There aren't issues other than basically trying to stop something else from happening now. It's not about making a better, well, it is technically about making a better America tomorrow, but we have to stop things from happening as opposed to saying, hey, here's what we could do, in the future that would be a beneficial program, et cetera. Of course, I believe in limited government, so the less the federal government and any government for that matter spends is better. But it really is about defense, truly. I mean, we have to go all in on defense at this point to save our republic.
100%. And our founding fathers never intended for the federal government to play this big of a role in the lives of the American people. And it's like when I talk to people and I express sort of like, look at where we really are. We need to take perspective. I think that there's been a line in the sand that we all thought, like, this will never happen in our country. And we crossed that line quite a long time ago. And if we're not careful, we're going to wake up and we're going to find that the rights that we currently have to fight back against this government, it's not going to exist anymore. And it's time for every single patriotic American to start thinking to themselves, what is my role to play in saving this country?
Tell me about how you feel about UFOs.
Please.
Yes.
How I feel. Well, it's interesting. Somebody on Twitter was like, "Wow, I've never seen this put in a congressional agenda." Basically, and I was like, "Hey, that's my key to getting on Tucker." So,
yes.
So, my thought on UFOs is this. My thought is that it's just that's UFOs. So I'm not talking about aliens or anything like that necessarily, but who knows, right?
Right.
Is that it's a national security issue that we need to take seriously. And the reason I even bring it up is because I happen to live in a district that is, should be more famous than Roswell. Actually. So
yes.
the term UFO was actually coined over my house, essentially, on a flight from Yakima, Washington, and in 1947.
What was his name?
Actually, you need to look that up.
I know who you're talking about. I did a series on UFOs for the Nashville Network 100 years ago, and I can't remember.
That's awesome.
I can't remember the guy's name that saw the UFOs over Mount. Oh gosh, what's
Rainier?
Rainier.
Mount Rainier, yeah.
And that was earlier than Roswell, and it was. He saw something, and it was definitely unidentified. We don't know what it was, but it was in the air, and it freaked him out. And for whatever reason, that is a UFO hotspot. So you have my support there.
U.S. pilot Kenneth Arnold.
That's it, Ken Arnold.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right.
So,
go
ahead.
I was going to say, well, the part of the historical perspective and sort of the reasoning why there's theories about this is that, why it was spotted here is that this happened just a few years after the nuclear bomb was dropped.
Right.
And within my district is Hanford Nuclear Power Plant where it was developed.
Okay.
And they've always said that nuclear power, they seem to see them around areas that have nuclear power. So in terms of theories, that's the theory, And I've seen one. I've seen a thing.
What it looked like?
Which, by the way, didn't. It was just like growing up as a kid. My dad was always like, we would go out in parks and watch for satellites, right? And back in the day, you had to look for them. Now you see 16 when you look up. But I looked up and it was just a triangle of 3 dots that seemed to be in orbit, but it seemed to be a solid in between, just kind of going across the sky. And I always assumed it was some government thing that we just don't know of.
Right.
But what's funny is I heard a report on AM radio years later, and this guy did a UFO report, which I think is so interesting. There's people out there that do weekly UFO reports, and he was talking about how this kid in Yakima had a UFO sighting that was seen all the way up and down the coast. And I was at the time in LA. It's like, oh my God, it was the same thing that I saw.
Right.
I was like, oh, it was real. I wasn't losing my mind.
The triangular thing has seen a lot of action. That was the shape that I was described when I was interviewing people who had seen UFOs. I got the triangular shape more than just about any other. And when I was in Alabama, I actually saw what looked like a flying semi-truck in the air. We never did figure out what it was, but it was next to an abandoned Air Force base, and it may have been them checking out our abandoned hardware. Who knows? That's
so interesting.
You sound fascinating, and honestly, I think your attitude is the kind of leadership that Washington could use, because sure as hell is not working with what we have the majority of there now. Your website is sendcorey2022.com, right?
That's Corey with an EY.
EY.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. They never get that right at Starbucks.
Those bastards. And you're on the Twitters as well. What other social media?
Yeah, so on Twitter, it's at Corey Gibson. I didn't want to change that to my campaign name because I figured since I've got it, might as well keep it.
Might as well use it.
But when it's Instagram and Facebook, it's at Send Corey EY 2022.
Cool. All right.
And thanks, by the way, thanks for the Twitter shout out. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sure do. And anybody who's not following Corey, give him a look, give him a follow, and You got the right attitude. I think you're what we could use in Washington, certainly. Let us know if we can help down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. It was so nice waking up talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother.
Corey Gibson.
Take care.
You bet. Patriot, visionary, proven leader. It says right there on his website. I like him. He's got a sense of
Get him
humor.
back on the show, too. He's got a sense of humor.
He
and I love
does.
that. Yep.
He does. And we didn't offend him.
No.
We tried.
That's even better that we didn't.
Well, I know I need to try harder. I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
But we do, and it's irrelevant that he's gay. I don't care, but it's in marketing these days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You gotta go, and he's got a marketing background. You got to go with what's going to sell tickets at this point, and that certainly does. Let's see here. Anything worthwhile over here? F in Florida Man. Speaking of bobbing for apples, ladies, you've been notified.
There you go.
Memes are evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Should win. No, that is not a CNN lower third.
Where does it say? I don't see it. Where is it?
Wow. I'll just there you go. It's just that can't be real. Oh, and it's also Donna Hooper's birthday today. I just got the notification on Facebook.
Hooper Law.
So everybody just wish at Hoopla a big ol' happy birthday out there in whatever special way you want to. But don't do it before you go to preparewithmojo50.com. The end is near. I'd tell it is. I mean, relatively speaking, the end is statistically, it has to be near, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if I'm wrong, by the time you realize that, we'll all be dead anyway. So I'm going with it. The end is near. Make sure that you have enough food to get to the end. And that's at preparewithmojo50.com. A 3-month emergency food supply right now is $100 off. If you buy more, you'll save more. Which always reminds me of the cartoon. It was, for whatever reason, it was a family of bears. And the woman, the wife bear, comes home with all this stuff laid out on the table. And the husband bear is like, oh, look at all the money you spend. She says, but I use coupons. Think of all the money I saved. He's like,
well, my stepmom used to say, you got to spend money to save money.
You do. See?
Yep.
Hashtag somebody's doing it right.
The only commercial with bears I remember had toilet paper.
Right? Enjoy the go. Which you will, of course, need after you get the emergency food supply at Prepare with Mojo 50, because otherwise, what good is it? You also get the 4-week emergency food supply. It's only $2.97. This stuff lasts for 25 years, and you can. I just was moving some of it around and sniffing the chips.
Here, I'll get it.
Thank you. It did with the banana chips. You can smell them and the oatmeal when you open up the tub with all of the emergency food in it. So you put it somewhere where it's going to stay, moderately. I wouldn't stick it in I've put it on the back of a trailer before. Put it somewhere where it's not going to be damp and all hot or too cold. And then you will, when fit hits the shan, you will have what everybody wants. So you'll also have to buy some guns and ammo, because you're going to have to protect all of your belongings, especially your food. But you can also get the other tools, and I think they sell axes there too, don't they? Once you...
oh, that'd be interesting. Sure.
I mean, I think you're going to need to get... let's see if they do have survival tools, books, survival gear and tools, and they got stoves. They've got fire. There it is, right there, 13-inch camp axe. So you can get your weapons and your emergency food supply all when you go to preparewithmojo50.com. Do we get credit if they buy an axe?
I don't know.
I mean, it
I
should
have no
be.
idea.
I mean, Amazon.
We'll probably get credit for all of it if they use Mojo 50.
Well, they don't use Mojo 50. They go to preparewithmojo50.com.
Preparewithmojo50.com.
Can you get the URL right, please?
Yeah. Sorry.
Jiminy Christmas.
Okay.
So go, preparewithmojo50.com. And if you buy something else, even if you're thinking of going to, My Patriot Supply and buying something else, start at preparewithmojo50.com, because then we get a little piece and we can feed our crack habit. Or keep the lights on, whichever one. It depends on what mood we're in. Preparewithmojo50.com.
20 minutes, let's go!
I prematurely shot my finger.
No, that was me.
You were just
I prematurely shot my wad.
You were
Sorry, I was
just excited.
My finger got all
You
giddy.
were excited to get the hell out of here. Apparently, that is the end of 2 hours of the Daily Mojo, which included Halloween sex positions. Who knew? For Friday, everything's weird today and these days. Might as well be us too. October 29th, the year of our Lord 2021. Did any of the lessons stick? Well, let's find out. Let's see here. Scrolling to the top, Robin says, I woke up this morning to you guys and a dog that was literally dry humping air. The day cannot get stranger. Oh, sure it can.
That's right.
Priceless Six says, at Maxton Gumball is getting homeschooling done in record time this morning. Never apologize. He listens at his own risk. Well, at least he'll be prepared for the world.
Yeah, that's true.
B from the SAV says, as a replacement for Cal 79 segment, check out the Solved Murders podcast by Parcast Good Stuff. All right, cool. The Solved Murders podcast. I love the true crime stuff. Really is fascinating.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. Let's see here. Dr. Mojo, Martian, Real Brad Staggs. Put it somewhere Doc Kitty's pet rats can't get to it. That's a good point about your emergency food. That is the one. Oh, I will tell you this. The tubs that it comes in, the rat will get behind them and can't get in. That was the morning that I heard the scurrying sound, and I poked around in there, and all of a sudden I see the two little paws and the face go up over the back of the My Patriot Supply food. So they can't get into they are rat-proof indeed. The Knights Who Say Knee. Ed Stephen Airy says that the reason for triangular shapes in the videos is because of the way the digital video recorder captures the image. There's not a circular aperture. The object isn't itself necessarily a triangle.
Oh, that's intriguing.
Stephen Airy's full of shit. It's a triangle.
That'll be on the show tonight.
They may or may not be triangular. Let's see. Coming up next, of course, is the encore presentation of Abnormal Realities.
It was our Halloween show last night.
Why isn't your Halloween show tonight?
Because we were not doing a show tonight because I have to prep for my procedure tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
And I didn't want to be doing a show and having to run out to the bathroom.
Ron is getting an addictomy. Your Daily Mojo made possible by the former Ron Phillips. Spinning the dials, radio style, smallest minority on earth is the individual. Those who deny individual rights cannot be claimed to be defenders of minorities, except for Tyrannus, more than ever. Resist stupid all the time, and good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are, have a good weekend. Be safe.
All right, kids, your daddy's leaving you. Bell counts next.
Clear.
Mm-hmm.
Love you guys. See ya.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Just before they walk out on you and leave you high and dry. Just get out. Get out. We're going to do something special.
I'm going. Bye.
Get out. All right. By the way, it is tomorrow that America Nuck Radio presents Rock'em Sock'em Saturday, hosted by the Leprechaun himself. But right now, it's the bell count.
Good morning, Mojo 5. I'm Leprechaun, and here with the bell count for the Daily Mojo, Friday, October 29th, 2021. Today there were 7 missed innuendo bells for beats off, swallowed some, subhead, put it in, 10 actual bells, and 9 rim shots. Peace out, boys. Stay healthy the 2 days until Monday.
What in the hell did he... Is that me or is that him? That must be me. I was like, where did the background music come from? Oh, I know where it's coming from. I just realized where it was coming from, and it's me.
Nyctophobia. Nyctophobia.
It is a noun.
Nyctophobia. Nyctophobia.
That's enough time. It's an irrational or disproportionate fear of night or nighttime darkness.
Nyctophobia.
And that, as they say, is that. And
that is a wrap.
Be safe out there. Happy Halloween. Happy candy getting. Here's hoping you don't get any oranges in your bag. Or your bag is orange. or red or irritated. Swollen